The sky was red with fire, the sun barely visible through the smoke that covered the ruined cities. Humanity had fought for centuries, but now it seemed all hope was gone. The alien fleet had come without warning, swift and merciless. Their ships were massive, black and silent, moving through Earth's atmosphere like shadows of death. Cities that once shone with life now lay in ruins, and millions of people were lost in the first wave. Commander Alara Voss stood on the balcony of what remained of the Global Defense Headquarters. The wind carried the smell of burning metal and dust. She watched as the last of the defense drones fell from the sky. Her hands were trembling, not from fear, but from the weight of responsibility. Every life counted, every choice mattered, and she had failed to protect so many. "Commander," a voice said from behind her. It was Lieutenant Cale Duran, his face streaked with soot. We didn't lose everyone. The northern sector is still holding." Ilara turned slowly, her eyes hard. "How long?" "Not long, I'm afraid. They're moving fast. If we don't act—" He didn't finish. Words were useless now. Ilara clenched her fists. Humanity had been cornered before, but never like this. Never against an enemy so advanced, so unfeeling. They had no choice but to run, hide, and fight with what little they had left. The small group of survivors moved quickly through the crumbling streets, avoiding alien patrols. The ground shook as alien ships fired their weapons, tearing through buildings like paper. Every step was a risk, every shadow could hide death. Yet the humans pressed on, driven by instinct, stubbornness, and something deeper, a will to survive. Among them was a young engineer named Lyra, barely 20, but brilliant with machines. She carried a small pack filled with tools and devices, her eyes wide with determination. "We can't keep running forever," she whispered to herself. "We have to fight, or at least find a way to fight." They reached a hidden bunker deep underground, one of the few places still untouched by alien fire. The walls were lined with old computer screens and dusty equipment. It smelled of metal and oil, but to the survivors it was home, a fragile shield against the nightmare above. Ilara gathered everyone in the dim light. "We need information," she said. "We need to know what we're facing, and we need a plan, no matter how small. We can't give up." "Not yet." The group nodded, though fear lingered in their eyes. Outside, the aliens scoured the planet, confident in their victory. They believed humanity was finished, a minor species to be extinguished, but they had underestimated the stubborn spark that lived in humans, a spark that refused to die no matter the odds. Hours passed as the team worked to restore communication channels. Lyra tapped into old satellites, bypassing damaged circuits, her fingers moving like lightning over the keyboard. Suddenly, a strange signal appeared on the screen. It was faint, almost too weak to notice, but there it was. A repeating pattern, something alien but not hostile. Ilara leaned in, squinting at the data. "It's a message?" she asked. Her voice was barely a whisper. "Yes," Lyra replied. "I don't know who sent it or why, but it's definitely not from them, or at least not in the way we think." The team fell silent. The thought that there might be hope sent shivers down their spines. Could something be offering help? Or was it a trap, a cruel trick by the aliens? Before they could discuss, the bunker shook violently. Alarms blared as distant explosions rattled the walls. The aliens had found the northern sector. Panic spread among the group, but Ilara held up her hand. "Stay calm," she ordered. "We move only when we have a plan." They watched the monitors, hearts pounding as the alien ships descended from the sky. Their shapes were unlike anything humans had seen before, sleek, dark, with a strange organic look, as if they were alive. One ship hovered over the city ruins, scanning, searching, and then something unexpected happened. A beam of light shot from the ship into the sky, not attacking, but signaling. Ilara's eyes widened. "It's the same pattern," she said. "The signal? It's coming from them." Kyle shook his head in disbelief. "Why? Why would they?" Ilara didn't answer. Instead, she made a decision. "We follow it. Whatever it is, it's our chance. We might not get another." The group prepared to leave, gathering what little weapons and supplies they had. The ground shook again, and a distant scream echoed through the tunnels. Fear gnawed at their minds, but determination burned brighter. Humanity had been pushed to the edge, but they would not fall without a fight. As they emerged into the night, the alien ships loomed above like giants, casting shadows over the ruined world. The signal pulsed, steady and insistent, guiding them forward. And for the first time in what felt like forever, a glimmer of hope appeared in their hearts. Ilara took a deep breath, looking at the team. "All hope is gone," she said softly. "But not yet. Not while we still breathe," and with that, they stepped into the unknown, into the darkness between the stars, unaware that the journey ahead would test every limit of human courage and reveal a truth the universe had never expected. The underground bunker was quiet, except for the soft hum of computers and the occasional beep from monitors. Outside, the world was still burning, yet inside, hope flickered like a fragile candle. The signal they had discovered wasn't just random noise. It had a pattern, a rhythm that suggested intelligence. But whose intelligence and why? Lyra stared at the screens, eyes tired but sharp. Her fingers moved over the keyboard, decoding fragments of the signal. Each line of code revealed something new, something strange. It wasn't a typical alien language. The symbols seemed almost mechanical yet organic, like a mixture of technology and thought. "Commander," Kale said quietly, leaning over her shoulder. "Do you think it's friendly?" Ilara shook her head. "We don't know. Friendly or not, it's our only lead. If there's even a chance it can help us, we follow it. We have no other options." The group gathered around the monitors. Even in the dim light, the fear in their eyes was clear. Humanity had been beaten, scattered, and almost forgotten. Yet somehow these people still believed they could fight back. That belief, small and fragile, was stronger than any weapon. Lyra pointed at a section of the decoded signal. "Look at this," she said. "It's coordinates." Something, somewhere. It's not on any human map, could be. A hidden base. Ilara's heart raced. A base could mean weapons, supplies, or allies. Anything that might turn the tide. "Then that's our destination," she said. "We move at first light." The night was long, filled with tense silence. Every sound, every distant explosion or drone passing overhead, set their nerves on edge. Some of the survivors tried to sleep, but sleep was a luxury they could no longer afford. In the shadows of the bunker, whispers spread. Questions about the signal, the aliens, and the chance of survival filled the air. Morning arrived with a muted, smoky light. The team moved cautiously through the ruins of the city, following the coordinates. The streets were deserted, littered with broken vehicles and debris. Alien patrols were few but lethal. Even a single mistake could mean death. As they navigated the city, Lyra noticed something unusual. "Commander, look," she whispered, pointing to a pattern in the rubble. Footprints. Not human, at least not like any humans they knew. They were small, fast, and precise. Something or someone was already ahead of them. Ilara nodded. "Stay alert. We don't know if it's a trap or an ally." Hours passed, and the survivors moved deeper into the ruins. The air grew colder, the smoke thicker. Then on the edge of the city they found it. A hidden entrance, almost invisible, leading into a vast underground complex. The coordinates were right. The signal had guided them here. The entrance was sealed with alien technology, unlike anything they had seen before. Lyra's hand shook slightly as she examined it. "I think I can get it open," she said. "But it's risky. One wrong move and it could alert the aliens." Ilara placed a hand on her shoulder. "Do it, we have no choice." Minutes felt like hours as Lyra worked. Sparks flew, circuits hummed, and finally the door slid open with a low hiss. Inside was darkness, broken only by faint, glowing lines along the walls. The air smelled metallic, almost alive. The team stepped inside cautiously. The hallway seemed endless, twisting and turning in ways that defied human logic. Then suddenly the glow grew brighter. They reached a chamber filled with strange devices, pulsing with light. At the center was a holographic projection of a figure, tall, ethereal, and unlike any human. Its eyes glowed with a soft blue light. "Welcome, humans," the figure said. The voice was calm yet powerful, echoing through the chamber. "We have been waiting." The survivors froze. This was no trap, or maybe it was. Nothing in this world was simple anymore. Who are you?" Ilara asked, her voice steady despite the pounding of her heart. "We are the Ardent," the figure replied. "We observed your species long before your world was threatened. You are small, fragile, yet persistent. You are underestimated. That is your strength." Kyle frowned. "Why help us? Why now?" The Ardent's eyes glowed brighter. "Because the galaxy itself recognizes the spark of determination in your kind. We cannot interfere directly with your enemies, but we can guide you. We can show you how to survive. And fight back. Lyra stepped closer, her curiosity overpowering fear. How? What can you do for us? The hologram shimmered and a map appeared in the air, showing hidden caches, forgotten weapons, and forgotten technology buried deep beneath the ruins of human cities. These are resources left by your ancestors, hidden from the aliens' notice. With these you may yet reclaim your world. Hope surged through the group. For the first time in months they felt the possibility of victory, not guaranteed but real. Still a shadow of doubt lingered. Could they really succeed against an enemy so powerful? Could humans, once scattered and broken, rise again? Before they could ask more, the chamber shook violently. An alarm blared. The alien ships had found their location. Their time was running out. Alara grabbed Kale's arm. We take what we can and leave. Now. They moved quickly, loading equipment and storing maps in portable devices. Outside, the sky was dark with alien ships. The pulse of weapons fire echoed from the ruins. The survivors ran, hearts pounding, minds racing, every instinct screaming to survive. The Ardent's projection faded. Remember, it said softly, you are not yet defeated. Use what you have learned. Survive. Fight. Prove them wrong. Alara led the team through the chaos, the coordinates etched into memory. Somewhere out there in the darkness was hope. Somewhere, humanity could rise again. And in the shadows, the alien ships adjusted their course. They had noticed. The small, fragile species they had dismissed as insignificant was moving, and now they were starting to fight back. The night was darker than usual, the sky choked with smoke and fire. Humanity's survivors moved through the ruins, guided by the coordinates from the Ardent. Every step was cautious. Every shadow could hide death. Yet for the first time in months, their hearts held a spark of hope. Commander Alara Voss led her team through a ruined industrial complex. The ground cracked beneath their feet. Lyra carried a portable device, showing hidden caches and maps that could turn the tide of their survival. The Ardent had promised tools, weapons, and knowledge, but it was up to humans to use them. Keep your eyes open, Alara warned. We don't know what's waiting for us. The aliens are fast and they are relentless. They reached the first cache, a buried armory beneath a collapsed factory. With careful hands, Lyra triggered the opening mechanism, revealing a small room filled with weapons, armor, and strange devices. They were unlike any human technology, a mix of metal and energy that hummed with potential. Kale picked up a sleek rifle, feeling its weight. This is incredible. But we can't even begin to understand half of it. Lyra shook her head. We don't have to understand it fully. We just have to use it. The team split to explore other caches, uncovering hidden vehicles, energy shields, and tools that humans had never imagined. They repaired old drones and modified weapons, turning scavenged remnants of human technology into powerful devices. The survivors worked with efficiency born of desperation, their minds sharp despite exhaustion. By dawn, they had assembled a small force, enough to make a difference in the ruined northern sector. The aliens were still patrolling, their massive black ships casting shadows over the city. The humans were outmatched in numbers, but they had something the aliens did not: ingenuity and unpredictability. Alara studied the map. We strike tonight, she said. We hit their patrols, disrupt their operations, and make them think twice. This is our chance to remind them that humanity doesn't give up easily. The team moved silently, using narrow alleys and collapsed buildings to hide their approach. Lyra guided them with small devices that emitted confusing signals, drawing alien drones away from their path. Their hearts raced with every step, every beep of an alien sensor threatening to expose them. Then they saw their target, a small alien outpost at the center of the city. It was lightly guarded, just enough to monitor human activity. To the aliens, humans were insignificant, scattered pests not worth real attention. That underestimation would be their undoing. Alara gave the order. Now. Humans sprang from the shadows, armed with energy weapons and makeshift explosives. Lyra's devices scrambled alien sensors, giving the team a window of opportunity. The outpost shook under the assault. Drones fell, alarms blared, and alien guards scrambled in confusion. For a brief, shining moment, victory was theirs. Humans, outnumbered and outgunned, had struck a blow against the enemy. The aliens hadn't expected it, and their hesitation gave humanity a chance to escape with vital supplies and information. Kale cheered quietly, unable to contain his excitement. We did it. We actually did it! Ilara smiled, though her eyes remained vigilant. This is only the beginning. The aliens will respond. They will adapt. We have to be ready. The team returned to the hidden bunker, carrying their new weapons and knowledge. Lyra studied the alien devices carefully. There's so much we can learn from these. They're advanced, yes, but they're not perfect. They underestimate us at every turn. Ilara nodded. And that's our advantage. We fight with what they don't expect, we adapt. We survive. As night fell again, the group took turns keeping watch. The sound of distant explosions reminded them that the world was still at war, but the spark of hope had grown brighter. Humans were no longer merely running, they were learning, fighting, and surviving. But the aliens were noticing the change. High above, in a command ship orbiting the ruined Earth, a figure watched the city through glowing monitors. The ship's commander, tall and alien, frowned. The humans are interfering, it said, voice like steel. They are dangerous. They are unpredictable. Prepare the response fleet. They must be eliminated. Back on Earth, Ilara felt a thrill of determination as she looked at her team. They think we are weak, she said softly. They think we will fall. Let them think that. We will show them. Humans are never finished until they say so. In the darkness, a distant light pulsed, another signal, faint but steady. The Ardent had more to teach them, more secrets to reveal. Humanity was learning to fight in ways the aliens could not imagine. And with every small victory, every act of courage, the universe was starting to notice that humanity was not just surviving. It was becoming something more. The first victory was small, almost insignificant to the galaxy, but to humans it was a sign. A sign that even at the edge of extinction, ingenuity, courage, and determination could carve a path forward. They had a hidden edge, one the aliens had never considered, and that edge would grow with every choice, every battle, and every life they refused to lose. Ilara looked at the city skyline, broken and silent, and whispered, "We are not done yet. Not by far. And one day, they will regret underestimating us." The northern sector was quiet now, but the silence was fragile, broken only by the distant hum of alien patrols. Humanity had tasted victory for the first time, but Ilara knew it was only the beginning. The aliens were adapting, and every small gain could vanish in an instant. Ilara gathered her team in the dimly lit bunker. Lyra spread out the holographic map of the city, showing patrol routes, hidden caches, and alien weak points. "We've learned their patterns," she said. "We can strike, hit fast, and disappear before they even know what happened." Kale frowned. "We can't do this forever. They'll adapt, and we're too few." Ilara's gaze was steady. "We don't have forever. But we do have this. Our minds, our courage, and the fact that they don't expect us to fight like humans fight. They think we are weak. That's our advantage." The team prepared quickly, modifying weapons, loading energy shields, and repairing scavenged drones. Each human worked with a sense of urgency, knowing that one mistake could be the end. Yet the fear in their eyes was matched by determination. Every loss, every sacrifice had forged them into something stronger. Night fell. The city streets glowed faintly with fire, and the aliens patrolled as usual. The humans moved like shadows, silent and careful, using their new weapons to confuse and disrupt alien sensors. Lyra's devices emitted pulses that scrambled the aliens' detection systems, allowing the team to approach targets unnoticed. Their first strike was subtle, but devastating. They sabotaged an alien energy depot, sending a controlled explosion that destroyed supplies and drew patrols away from key positions. The aliens were confused, their communications scrambled. Humanity had learned not only to survive, but to strike with precision. Ilara led her team deeper into the city, targeting communication hubs. Each success built confidence, each small victory teaching them new tactics. Humans were no longer reacting. They were planning, anticipating, and controlling the battlefield in ways the aliens hadn't imagined. In one alley, Lyra activated a makeshift EMP device, disabling a patrol drone mid-flight. Kale fired a weapon that emitted a pulse of energy, knocking out several alien guards. They moved with speed, skill, and coordination that the aliens underestimated completely. But victory came at a cost. One of their scouts, a young man named Jaren, was struck by enemy fire while covering the team's retreat. Ilara's heart sank as she pulled him to safety, but it was too late. His life slipped away in her arms, a reminder that every gain came with a price. "We can't stop. Ilara whispered, her voice steady despite the pain. We fight for him, for all of them. We fight because we must. The team pressed on, morale tempered by loss but strengthened by determination. They struck again at supply lines, ambushed patrols, and disrupted the aliens' plans. Humans were learning, evolving, adapting faster than the enemy could anticipate. High above, in orbit, the alien commander studied the battlefield. These humans, they adapt too quickly, it said, its voice like steel. They are more dangerous than we predicted. Prepare a full response fleet. They must be crushed or they will become a threat we cannot contain. Back on the ground, Ilara and her team didn't know the extent of the enemy's response, but they felt the tension rising. They could see it in the sky, new ships appearing, larger and more aggressive than before. The aliens were learning too, closing in like predators who had realized their prey could bite back. Ilara gathered her team in a safe building. We've changed the rules, she said. They think they control this world, but we've shown them that humans don't obey rules imposed on us. We've turned the tide in this city. Now we must be ready for what comes next. They will strike harder, but we will be ready. Lyra examined the alien tech they had captured. There's more we can do. We can use what they don't expect. Their strength is in their weapons, in their ships. Our strength is in our minds, in creativity and courage. That's something they can't predict or control. Ilara nodded, looking out over the city. Fires still burned, smoke rising like a warning to the stars. Yet in those ruins, a human spark was alive and growing. Humanity was not just surviving. They were learning to fight in ways the aliens could not imagine, turning fear into strength, loss into purpose. As the night deepened, the team prepared for the next strike. Each step was calculated, each choice deliberate. They moved with a quiet confidence, knowing that while the aliens had power, humans had something more unpredictable: ingenuity, will, and the refusal to be broken. Somewhere in the darkness, a faint signal pulsed. The Ardent had more guidance to offer, more secrets to share, more tools for survival. Humanity was not done. They were evolving. They were turning the tide. And the aliens, vast and powerful though they were beginning to understand that the small, fragile species they had dismissed could fight back, and fight back fiercely. Ilara clenched her fists, eyes shining. We've turned the tide in one city, she said softly. But the war is far from over. The universe has underestimated humans for too long. They'll learn soon enough that humanity never stays down for long. And in the darkness, humanity moved forward, one daring strike at a time, proving that even in a world where hope seemed gone, the human spirit could rise, adapt, and fight back, no matter the odds. The city was quiet for the moment, but the calm was deceptive. Humanity's small victories had drawn attention. The alien fleets above were reorganizing, stronger and faster than before. Ilara knew they had little time. If humans waited, the aliens would crush them. They had to strike, boldly, decisively, and without hesitation. Tonight, Ilara said, gathering her team in the underground bunker, we take the fight to them. We hit their command ships, disrupt their leadership, and show them humans are not to be underestimated. Every moment we wait, we lose the advantage. The team nodded, hearts pounding with anticipation and fear. Lyra checked the alien devices they had captured. We can hack into their systems, she said. It's risky, but it might work. We can disable their ships temporarily, give ourselves a window. Kyle frowned. Risky? That's an understatement. If it fails, we're dead. Ilara's gaze was steady. We've faced impossible odds before. This is just another impossible challenge. Humans survive when odds are against us. That's what we do. The plan was daring. A small strike team would infiltrate the alien landing zone, plant explosives on key ships, and hack into their communication network to cause confusion. The goal was not just to survive, but to show that humans could hit where it hurt. As night fell, the team moved silently through the shadows. The city was a ruin of fire and steel, but humans had learned to navigate it like predators, unseen and unpredictable. They avoided patrols, disabled sensors, and moved toward their target. The alien outpost loomed ahead, larger than anything they had attacked before. Ships hovered above, their dark shapes glowing with energy. The team took cover behind rubble, hearts racing. Every second was precious. Every sound could mean discovery. "Go," Ilara whispered. They moved as one, swift and precise. Lyra hacked into the alien systems, sending false signals that drew guards away. Kale planted explosives, while Ilara and the rest kept watch. Suddenly, an alarm blared. One drone had detected movement. The team froze, then moved faster, heartbeats synchronized with the urgency of the mission. Shots rang out, bright and deadly. Humans fell back, taking cover, using their ingenuity to turn alien weapons against them. Lyra's hands flew over the console. "I'm in," she shouted. "Ships are vulnerable for 10 minutes. Ilara nodded. "Move fast, no hesitation." Explosives were set. Hacking was completed. The strike team retreated to safe cover. Seconds later, the first explosion rocked the sky. Alien ships shuddered and fell, caught off guard by humans' unexpected attack. Communications were jammed, creating chaos in their ranks. Kale couldn't help but grin. "We actually did it. We hit them." Ilara's smile was brief. "Celebrate later. We're not safe yet." Then the shock came. From the shadows, a figure emerged, human in appearance but moving with strange precision. "Who are you?" Ilara demanded. The figure raised its hand. "I'm part of your kind, but not fully. The aliens experimented on humans long ago. I escaped. I've been tracking their movements. You're not the only ones fighting back." The revelation stunned the team. Another human, altered by alien experiments, had been surviving in the ruins, observing, waiting for the right moment. Trust was fragile, but survival depended on cooperation. Ilara extended her hand. "Then fight with us. Together." The stranger nodded. "I've waited for this chance." With renewed force, the humans pressed the attack, using their ingenuity to navigate traps and outsmart the aliens. Explosions rocked the city, alarms blared, and confusion spread among alien ranks. Humans moved like shadows, unpredictable, relentless, and cunning. High above, the alien commander observed the chaos. "This is impossible," it growled. "A minor species, and yet they are orchestrating attacks with precision. They adapt too quickly. Prepare the final strike. They must be eliminated or we risk losing control." The team didn't know of the command ship's plan, but they felt the tension in the air, the knowledge that the next battle would be even more dangerous. Every strike had its cost. Every victory demanded sacrifice. Ilara looked at her team, her eyes fierce. "We've shown them what humans can do. But this war isn't over. They'll come harder. They'll try to break us. And we'll be ready. Because humanity doesn't surrender. We adapt. We fight. And we survive." As the night faded, a faint pulse appeared in the sky, the ardent signal, guiding them to the next phase of survival. Humans had struck boldly, showing courage and ingenuity against a far superior force. Yet the final confrontation loomed, greater and more dangerous than anything they had faced. In the ruins, humans celebrated quietly, hearts full of determination. One small victory had become a spark of hope, a signal to the universe that humanity, though underestimated, was far from finished. Ilara whispered to herself, looking at the burning horizon. "They think we are weak. They think we are done. But they don't understand. Humanity never stays down. Not now. Not ever." And somewhere in the darkness of space, the alien command prepared its response, a strike meant to crush humans once and for all. The stage was set for the final battle, where ingenuity, courage, and the unbreakable human spirit would face the ultimate test. The sky burned red, streaked with smoke and fire. Alien ships filled the horizon, massive, dark, and deadly, preparing for the final strike. Humanity's small forces were ready. Every survivor, every fighter, every mind and hand had prepared for this moment. There was no turning back. Commander Ilara Voss stood at the front of her team, eyes scanning the battlefield. Behind her, humans loaded weapons, adjusted energy shields, and checked drones. Lyra moved among them, ensuring every device, every hacked weapon, and every trap was in place. The Ardent's guidance had given them knowledge, but survival depended on action, courage, and unity. Kale looked at Alara. They're bigger than anything we've faced. Are we ready? Ilara's gaze was fierce. Ready? But we have something they don't. Humans never give up. And tonight we show them why. The aliens began their attack. Massive ships descended, firing energy beams that tore through ruined cities. Humans scattered, dodged, and used every hidden advantage. The team struck back using traps, hacked drones, and explosive devices to disrupt alien formations. Chaos spread among the enemy ranks. From above, the alien commander watched, fury growing. These humans, they refuse to die. They are persistent and dangerous. Deploy the final weapon. End them now. A massive ship broke orbit, pulsing with energy, firing beams that obliterated everything in its path. Humanity's defenses faltered. Buildings crumbled and casualties rose. But humans adapted instantly, using hidden tunnels, agile vehicles, and ingenious tactics to survive and strike back. Alara led a small team toward the heart of the alien command. This is it, she said. If we disable their command ship, we can end this tonight. Lyra hacked into the alien systems as they advanced, sending false signals and disrupting weapon systems. Kyle and the others planted explosives on structural weak points, moving fast, precise, and unstoppable despite the odds. Suddenly, the alien commander appeared on a screen, its voice booming. You are insignificant. You cannot survive. Your species will be erased. Ilara stepped forward, her voice steady. We are humans. You underestimated us. You thought we were weak, but look around. We survive, we fight, we never surrender. The team pressed on, dodging energy blasts, using every skill, every device, every ounce of courage. Lyra's hacking worked perfectly, disabling shields just long enough for explosives to detonate. One by one, alien ships were destroyed, their systems collapsing under human ingenuity and relentless determination. The massive command ship began to falter, its energy destabilized. Humans moved like shadows through the chaos, striking with precision. The alien commander's calm demeanor cracked with disbelief. How are you still alive? Ilara didn't answer. She pressed forward, planting the final device at the core of the ship. A timer ticked down. The team retreated, hearts pounding, adrenaline surging. The explosion was massive, shaking the sky, sending the alien fleet into disarray. Energy beams faltered, ships crashed, and chaos reigned. Humanity had done the impossible. They had turned desperation into victory. When the dust settled, the sky cleared. Fire still burned, but the alien fleet was broken. Humans stood among the ruins, battered but unbowed. Every survivor looked at one another, faces filled with exhaustion, sorrow for the lost, and pride for what they had achieved. Alara looked at the horizon, a faint smile on her face. We survived, we fought. We are still here, and we will remain. Humanity is not yet done. The ardent signal pulsed once more, soft and steady, as if acknowledging humanity's victory. Lyra watched it, awe in her eyes. We did it, she whispered. We really did it. Cal clapped Ilara on the shoulder, and the universe saw it. We proved them wrong. Not just the aliens, everyone who ever doubted humanity. Ilara shook her head, her eyes fierce and proud. This is only the beginning. We've won the battle, but the war of survival never ends. Humanity is small, fragile, but unpredictable. That is our strength. That is why we endure. In the distance, survivors began rebuilding, using the alien technology and their own ingenuity to restore what was lost. Humans had faced extinction and emerged stronger, smarter, and more united than ever before. Ilara turned to her team, her voice calm but resolute. Remember this moment. Remember what it feels like to fight when all hope seems lost. Humanity will continue to rise again and again, no matter the odds. That is who we are. And so, amid the ruins of Earth and the wreckage of alien ships, humans stood tall. Against impossible odds, they had fought, adapted, and prevailed. The universe had seen their courage, their ingenuity, and their unbreakable spirit. Humanity, small but mighty, had said clearly and defiantly, not yet. The stars above seemed brighter that night, as if the universe itself had acknowledged that humans would endure, survive, and rise no matter how dark the skies, no matter how powerful the enemies. Humanity had reclaimed hope, proving that even in the face of annihilation, the human spirit could never be extinguished.